we have learned that how to find the composite functions, but now we are talking about what would be the domain of the composite function and what would be the range of the composite function. All right. Now, for example, if we are going to be talking about f of g of x, if we are going to be showing in a graph, it is going to look like you have g function, you have f function. Like we have to show it with a graph. The input, there is the output, and it will be the input. Now look at here. First of all, you are going to be give some value as an input, and that is basically the domain of the function. Obviously, that will be the domain of g of x, means the values that you can substitute in g function. That is the domain. You have to apply the function g because the first function is g. So you will get the value of g of x. The value that you are going to be get the g of x, that is basically the domain of the next function, and this is basically the range of g of x. Now you are applying, you have f function, so you are going to be apply the f function, and you are going to be getting the something as an output, and that is basically the f of g of x, and this is your range. So look at here, this is your main to main that you have to substitute the value, and this is the value that you are going to be getting the output, that is your range of the composite function. Between them, obviously, when you have to substitute the value x into the g of function, so you are getting something as an output, that is basically the range of g of x. But the range of g of x is going to be act like a domain of f of x. You have to substitute the value, and you will get the some values as an output. For example, from here you have this some value points. The domain of f of g of x is part of the domain of g, because sometimes the range that you are going to be get as g of x, there is some restriction in f of x, means there is an output, and maybe that output is not going to be suitable for f of x, so you have to be change the domain. So in short, you can say that the domain of f of g of x is just a smaller part, or it may be equal, but it may be a part of g of x. Yes, Simon, any question till here?
No.
The second point is the domain of first function. The first function we have to take is g. The domain of g might be need to restricted so that the range of g is part of domain of f of x. For example, in a very simple example, let's say g of x is equal to 2x plus 1. Okay. What is the domain of g of x? In general, we have to say that we can take all real numbers, right? Yes, everyone. Is it clear? We have g of f of 2x plus 1. I told you if you have a straight line like function, so you can substitute all values. There is any value that you will substitute, and it will going to be restricted that you cannot substitute that value. Anyone? Hello?
Sister.
I'm asking you, what is the domain of g of x, 2x plus 1?
All
All
real
real
numbers.
number.
All real numbers, right? When you have to
Yes.
substitute all the numbers, what you will get as an output?
Also all real numbers.
All real number also.
G of x is going to belong to all real numbers. Let's say the next function that you have, it is going to be f of x is equal to the square root of x. Now, is there any restriction in the f of square root of x? Because we have to give something as a domain. Which are the values that the f of x function that take as an input?
Greater than or equal to 0.
Yes, greater than equal to 0. It means that we don't need the negative numbers here. If I don't need a negative number here, so this means that I need to be change the domain of this one as well. For example, if I need only the positive answer, how is it possible? I will substitute 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. I'm going to get x is equal to minus 1 over 2. So I need to substitute x is greater than equal to minus 1 by 2. I need to substitute all the values that are greater than minus 1 by 2, because when I substitute it, the g of x is going to be gives you the positive answer. And this positive answer is going to be become the domain of f of x, and it is going to be give you the function, and that is basically your range. Clear? Yes, everyone. Any question? So, for example, if we are going to be talking about the domain of the composite function, it is going to be a small tricky. What you have to look for, first of all, you have to be check that what is the domain of g of x. I will check that the domain of g of x is all real numbers. Okay. And so what is the output? Means what is the range of the g of x? The range is all real numbers as well. Now, up to here, it is everything is okay. Now we have to check that because this output is basically the domain of f of function. Now here you have a restriction that you must have to be substitute the value that is greater than or equal to 0. Means you are able to substitute only the positive value. You cannot substitute a negative value here. Got it? For that purpose, obviously, we need to be change the domain of here. So I'm going to substitute x is greater than or equal to minus 1. Now you will substitute any value. If you have to substitute minus 1 by 2, you will get 0. If you will substitute 1, it will be 3, means positive value. If you will substitute 2, it will be 5, positive value. If you will substitute 3, 2 multiplied by 3, 6, 6 plus 1, it will be 7. So look at here, the domain of composite function will become is the subset of real number. That's why I have to write the domain of f of g of x is the part of domain of g. You will not take the whole domain of g of x. You have sometimes it will be some restriction, so you have to take some part of this one. So this is the domain of g of x, and the output range is, this is the range of f of g of x. Clear? The range is going to be same. The range is same as the range of f of x. All right. But the domain is going to be restricted, that it is going to be a small, it will be exactly or the domain of g of x, or it sometimes it may be some restriction, like you have a restriction that you cannot substitute all real numbers, you have to substitute the values that are going to be greater than or equal to 0. Yes, everyone. Any questions?
Mister, how we find the domain of FTX?
Ask the question again.
How we find the domain of FTX?
I'm telling you, you have to be find, here you are going to get the restriction. First, I will find the domain of g of x is x belongs to real numbers. But I'm going to get the restriction. This means that I need a positive answer. For the positive answer, I have to find the value. Basically, I just take it equal to 0 or greater than or equal to 0. So you will get that the values of x must be greater than or equal to -1. I need a positive answer. The restriction is I need a
Positive answer.
positive answer. So I will take it equal to greater than 0. So x, I will get x is greater than or equal to -1. So the domain of g of x in actual is real numbers, but the domain of f of g of x will become the x is greater than or equal to -1/2. Why? How it is going to be changed? Just because of this f function. It is clear. In short, you have to understand that the domain of g of x and the range of f of x is exactly the domain of f of g of x, but in the domain, it is going to be a smaller part of g of x. The domain of f of g of x is a part of domain of g. And the range of f of g of x is part of the, because if you have to take the domain, so it may also be the part of the range of f, depends upon the values that you are going to be substituted as input. Yes, everyone. Any question? Yes, any question till here?
No.
Let's see how to do our question, so it is going to be more clear. Let's suppose you have a function f of x is equal to the square root of x, and you have g of x is equal to 4 minus x squared. The question is, find the domain and range of f of g of x. So let's will substitute. We have f of x. Yes, can anyone tell me what is the domain?
Greater than 0.
Greater than or equal to 0.
X must be greater than or equal to 0.
0.
0.
What will be the range?
Can you remember?
Range. The range of f of x.
It will be x is greater than 0.
F of x.
F
F
of
of x.
x.
It's the range.
X.
Is greater than or
F of
equal. Means
x.
it is also the positive value. Means in
Stack,
this function you have, yes.
but there is positive plus or minus.
No. The actual output of the square root function is always a positive value. All right, because you are substituting a positive value.
Yes, sir.
When you are substituting a positive value, so the answer is always going to be a positive one. Now this is talking about the f of x. Now let's we have to
Mister, I
talk
have a
about,
question, sorry.
yes,
For example, if we substitute 4, the answer may be minus 2 or 2. Why it's only greater than or equal to 0?
minus 2 and
2.
2. Okay, you will take the square root, it is undefined.
No, he mean when square root of 4
Square
Yes,
root of
with the
4,
square root of 4.
is
So the
equal
answer would
plus
be,
or minus 2.
yes, that's it.
we are taking the square root of 4 and we are supposing that it may be the square root square of plus 2, or it may be the square root of minus 2. So we are going to be writing the both possibilities, plus 2 and minus 2, right? But here we are talking about the function. In the function, we are just going to be say that any negative value is not possible, because, for example, if it is positive 2, when you will take the square, you will get the 4. It is positive 4. It is minus 2. You will take a square. It will be positive 4, not a negative 4. So ultimately, your output is going to be this value that you are substituting as an input that must be greater than or equal to 0. And when you're substituting the value that is going to be greater than 0, so output is going to be also the greater than or equal to 0. That is clear? You are talking about that we have to substitute square root of 4. You are getting plus minus 2. We are getting plus 2 because we don't know this is the square of plus 2 or this is the square of minus 2. But we are talking about this value. If it is a positive 2 square, then it will be positive 4. If it is minus 2 square, it will be positive 4. And when you are substituting a positive value, the answer is going to be must be greater equal to 0. It can't be negative. Clear? If you are substituting the positive value, the answer is going to be positive as well in any type of square root function. Yes, Ahmed Hamza, is it clear?
So we should only suppose like it's only the positive values. There's no negative
Yes.
values.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Now we are getting the range of this function is f of x is greater than equal to 0. Now the next function we have g of x. What is the input of g of x? Yes, what is the domain of g of x?
Any real values.
Any values means all real numbers. And what is the output?
All real
Means
numbers.
the range? No, not all real numbers.
Less than or
Get
equal to 4.
Yes, g of x is less than or equal to
4.
4. Because if you have to substitute a 1, it will be 3, 2, like this. You are increasing the values, you are getting the lesser values and negative values. For example, there is no value, you will substitute them, you will get the answer will be 5. There is any value, you will substitute 1, the answer is 3. You will substitute 2, the answer is 0. You will substitute 3, the answer is minus 5, and so on. Yes, everyone. Any question till here? I did not do anything. You are finding the domain and the range of composite functions. So what I will do, I just find the domain and the range of f of x and find the domain and range of g of x. Yes, everyone. Any question?
No.
No, clear.
Now, he says that we have to find f of g of x. So this is the same pattern we are going to be used, right? Let's I will take this down. Okay, let's we have to start from here. The output of g of x is less than equal to 4, right?
Yes.
It's less than equal to 4. But in f of x, we have to substitute the value that is going to be greater than 0. So which value you need to be substitute?
Date 0, 1, 2, 3,
Yes,
4.
we have to substitute the output of g of x is greater than equal to 0 and less than equal to 4. Anyone have a question till here? Because this function did not take the negative values, and he is going to be give you all the values lesser than 0. This means that I need the values that would be between 0 and 4. I don't need a negative answer. So g of x is less than 4. It will become g of x is greater than 0 and lesser than 4. That will be the domain of f of x. Any question?
No.
All right. Now I need a values between 0 and 4. What would be the change in the domain of g of x? In actual, the domain of g of x is all real numbers. But I need the values from 0 to 4. So which value I have to substitute? You need to take the help of this function. I need a value from 0 to 4.
2.
You have 4 minus x squared. That's I'm going to take equal to 0 if I need a 0. So it is minus x, take it on the side, it will be plus x squared. I just remove the square, so I'm going to be taking a square root. So I'm going to be getting the answer plus 2 and minus 2. Now let me check. If you are going to be substitute g of x is equal to 4 minus x squared. Now substitute the value between, let's we will substitute minus 2. The answer is 0. If you will substitute minus 1, the answer is 3. If you will substitute 0, the answer is 4. If you are substituting plus 1, the answer is 3. If you are substituting plus 2, the answer is
2. No,
no
it's
0. 0.
0.
If I'm going to be substituting 3, it will become minus 5, but I don't need minus 5, right? The output must be from 0 to 4. I don't need minus 5. This means that you have the values that you have to substitute that must be lie between plus 2 to minus 2. Axis must be greater than equal to minus 2 and less than equal to 2, because between these values, the output will be 0 to 4. Yes, everyone. Any question till here? Yes, anyone? Ahmed Hamza, Ali Muhammad.
No, clear.
Yes,
Clear.
Ali Ashraf. Riyad.
No.
Okay. So first of all, we are going to be take the domain of this f of x that is going to be greater than 0. That's why I just changed the on this value the range of g of x, so it will become 0 to 4. Because of 0 to 4, I'm just changing in the domain of g of x. It is all real numbers. Now it will become -2 to +2. Now, when you are substituting the value from 0 to 4, what would be the range of f of x? If you are substituting the value in this function from 0 to 4, what will be the output?
less than or equal to 2.
It will
Now
be
you're
f of t is greater than or equals to 0,
you're
and it is less than 16. No, it's less than 2. Sorry,
yeah. Simply you have to the square root of 0 will be 0 and square root 4 will be
2.
because this is a square root function. The square root will be, so the minimum value that you are getting, that is 0, and the maximum value you are getting, that is 2. So here you are going to be getting the output f of g of x is going to be greater than or equal to 0 and lesser than or equal to 2. So this is my all rough work. This is my rough words that I just want to be show you because you don't have enough practice to find the domain and range. That's why I just do it step by step. Otherwise, you have to do these type of calculations mostly in a rough world. Okay. Now, the domain of f of g of x will become x is greater than or equal to -2 and lesser than or equal to 2. And the range of f of g of x will become 0 to 2. F of g of x is greater than or equal to 0 and lesser than or equal to 2. This would be my final answers. Okay, it's going to be look like a difficult one, but they are going to be very easy if you have a strong grip on the domain and the range of the simple functions. Okay, what you have to do if examiner gives you any two types of functions, so what you have to do is first of all you have to find the domain of the domain and range of first function, domain and range of second function. Now you have to make this type of chart. It is f of g of x, and for example, if it is g into f of x, so the shape here you have to write f of x and here you have to write g of x. First of all, you have to be checked that what you have to substitute these values. Okay, you have to be, because you are going to be talking about the range of g of x and the domain of f of x. You have to make them equal. All right. Obviously, because of the domain of f of x, you have to change something in the range, like we have to make from 0 to 4. When you are need a range 0 to 4, obviously you need to be change something in the domain of g of x as well. That we make -2 to +2. In the same way, if you are substituting the value from 0 to 4, the output would be accordingly. So we are going to get the output from 0 to 2. Yes, anyone have a question about it? You just have to understand the sequence. Otherwise, they are going to be really easier one. They're not a difficult one. It looked like a difficult one, but they are technically they are easier. Yes, everyone. Any question?
Not clear.
All right, we have some more type of functions as well. Like we have exponential functions, we have a logarithmic functions. So we are going to do it. Let's with the help of examples. Now, look at here. It is given that we have f of x is equal to 5 into log of 2x plus 3. and it is given that the range is x is greater than or equal to minus 3 by 2. The reason is the logarithm don't take a negative value. Okay, the natural log is going to be not take are going to be taking any negative value. Okay, they are always going to be take a positive value. All right. Yes, everyone. Any question?
No.
No.
All right. Now he says that you have to write the range of this function. So what would be the range of this one? So you are substituting all the values. X is greater than minus 3 by 2. So minus 3 by 2, it will become. So minus 3 by 2, it will be 0. That is not solvable. Okay, because natural log of 0 is going to be infinity. We don't have an answer. It is undefined. If you have to substitute any greater values, you are going to be getting all the real numbers. You have to substitute it to be minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and all of them. I'm going to be using a calculator. 1 second. I will share my full screen and show you. Yes, everyone. Can you see my calculator?
Yes.
Look at here, natural log of 20, it is positive answer. Natural log of 002, it will be a negative answer. In the same way, if you are substituting any natural log of 9,000 and a bigger value, it is going to be a positive answer. Look at here, the value is increasing. In the same way, if you are substituting decimal value 0.10 zeros and 1 like this, so you are going to be, the values in the negative is going to be increasing. So this means that the output is going to be all positive numbers and all negative numbers. So we have to say that the answer would be f of belongs to real numbers. Means the output of this function is all real numbers. So the first point, natural log natural log take only positive values greater than 0. All right. Look at here. When I'm substituting log of 0, it shows me it is undefined. So the first point that you have to make sure the natural log always take a positive value. The second thing for the natural log is the output. The range of the logarithmic function is the range of natural log is all real numbers. Yes, please note down these 2 points on your notebook. In the next class, we are going to be also talk about that how we are able to find the inverse of log functions.
Come on, mister.
Yes, all of you have noted down. Yes, everyone, all of you have noted down.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, mister. What did you say? I didn't hear you.
All right. Now the homework is you have to complete the previous worksheet, and I'm just going to be giving you one question. You have to do this one and send it to me. All right. It is you have to send me on the WhatsApp. Okay. So the worksheet that I already uploaded in the class here, so you have to send it to me in the PDF form. Now you are not able to do. You are